If you're Governor Moore, this is not the news that you want to hear. And let's look at why. In 2021, the bipartisan infrastructure law provided more than $7 billion for states to build EV chargers, including $63 million for Maryland. But the Maryland Department of Transportation now says the earliest that building will begin is halfway through next year. U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg acknowledges, as it stands right now, the charging network across the country won't cut it. Tim Bonner is the president and owner of Tim's Automotive and Towing in Parkville, and he'll be the first to tell you he's not against electric vehicles, even adding an electric vehicle specialist on his staff in recent years. But Bonner's support has a limit.
As far as Maryland wanting to change into all electric, it's craziness. It's not going to happen.
When 11 News Investigates interviewed Bonner in August, he said the main reason he's skeptical of Governor Wes Moore's plan to require that 100% of cars and light truck sales are electric vehicles by 2035 comes from the problems he sees every day.
It's not as easy as people think. The infrastructure's not there. So we tow a lot of cars that run out of power. They're not used to planning their trips where they need to pull over for a couple hours to charge up and then keep going.
In October, 11 News Investigates asked U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg about Bonner's concerns.
He says he's going out and sometimes finding cars that have just run out of juice on the side of the road. What do you say to that?
Yeah, there's no way we can run tomorrow's cars on today's charging network and grid. It's why we're building the charging network.
But 11 News Investigates has learned that building hasn't yet begun, in Maryland or anywhere else. Despite the bipartisan infrastructure law being passed in 2021, Maryland Department of Transportation spokesperson David Broughton says the state agency will only begin to give out funding in mid-2024, with construction beginning as soon as possible after that. Broughton adds that MDOT currently has $36 million from the infrastructure law to invest, and will eventually receive a total of $63 million.
Maryland's getting $63 million from the infrastructure law to do this. Any idea what that translates to in terms of chargers for Maryland?
Well, we're working with the state, which will take the lead on deploying those funds. But we are setting standards that the chargers have to be available at least every 50 miles if you're on long road trips, and they need to be available in dense, low-income communities as well. The president's vision is to have 500,000 chargers around the country by the end of this decade. We believe we can meet that goal and beat it, but only if we continue acting with a huge sense of urgency.
So where is that sense of urgency? Buttigieg says building out the charging network nationwide is the biggest change to cars since they were first invented over 100 years ago. And MDOT's David Broughton adds, charging infrastructure planning and investments are new to state departments of transportation, including MDOT. As such, implementation has proven to be a challenge for every state agency, not just MDOT.
We're doing everything we can to push down the costs and to push up the number of chargers being built every year.
The U.S. Department of Energy website shows that Maryland currently has 4,078 chargers across the state and that there are 181,860 chargers nationwide. Broughton says MDOT will begin requesting bids for companies to build EV chargers in Maryland in January. For 11 News Investigates, I'm Tolly Taylor.